Hello, this is Manny. Welcome to Feliz Christmas, Merry Navidad, the bilingual, multilingual Christmas podcast. Today, we're going to resume with part two of Germany and Puerto Rico with Lasse from It's a 90s Christmas podcast. Enjoy. I did buy some Hot Wheels because I always buy Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah.
To buying Hot Wheels.
I think I remember Hot Wheels. Yeah. Also the thing is why some of those big stores closed down is I think there are. I'm not quite sure, but I think there are less and less kids from generation to generation because it turned out so incredibly expensive. The life changes, the world changes, but that actually could change too because for people who might listen to this in the future, years and years from now, we're recording this in the midst of COVID-19 going on. And my mother, a few months ago, said when it was like at the height of risk and all of that, she said, so many women are getting pregnant during these times. And,
yes.
And I'm sure we will have a huge baby boom in a couple of months. I'm certain of it.
I'm crossing my fingers for that.
That might change certain things. Another thing I'm really sad about is when I grew up, that was late 90s, early 2000s, when I lived in an area where we had certain neighbor kids, and we lived very close to a forest. And we got together with wooden or plastic swords, and we went into a forest, we built huts, we played make-believe adventures, like based on like the Hobbit books and like certain fantasy things we knew. And and that was just our adventure, like playing outside. We actually also had a rivalry with another group of kids, and we actually fought them with our swords. And that's also something you don't really hear anymore. Like, I think those kinds of kids plays and all of that, that's gone. I think it depends on where exactly you live and how you grow up. But nowadays, I don't think even kids, like a little older kids, they don't even hang around on playgrounds anymore. They just, I don't know, they chat online or like on their tablets or phones or whatever, and then they just have their fun there, I guess. But it's still like it has turned into this more antisocial thing where you are. And still, kids still go out and play football and all of that. Sure, like they play sports, they run around, they drive on bikes, they ride bikes. Sorry, but it's these kinds of kids plays where they just go out and have adventures, and like one is the leader of like this make-believe gang, but it's not like a drug gang. It's something that they actually, I don't know, where we just play with swords and all of that, or even like something like that they play cops and robbers or something like that. That doesn't exist anymore, I think. And part of that is, of course, cops and robbers, but also has turned into something else during the last couple of years, and it's not it's not that harmless anymore. But still, it's really, really sad that I don't really see kids groups out now, or maybe they do and they are just very well hidden. And they just play make-believe and have their little adventures. It's, I think I am part of the very last generation who actually did that.
Yep. I mean, when I was growing up in the street where my grandma lives, I used to walk through, I guess, the woods, like behind the houses. And I felt like it was like 30, 40 minute, an hour walk. But it's actually like 10-minute walk. We built a tree house back there. You couldn't see the houses, but it's because there were so much trees that you couldn't see the houses that were right next to it, but they were like 12 seconds away. And it was an adventure. And then as a grown up, when I went back to Puerto Rico, when I walked that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so dangerous. How did we build that over there? How did that not fall off? But it was just how did we get tools over there? Like there were huge snails, and there were no parents involved in building that. And I saw whatever was left of the wood that was on the tree that we used to build the steps. And it was like a rectangular piece of wood with one big nail in the middle. But if you put your foot on any other sides, it was just going to twist because it was just one nail holding it there. And that's how we built step by step and went all the way up there and built a platform, a semi roof, and yeah, it was the innocence, and it's an innocence and ignorance at the same time. Because right now I see, like when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh! And then the walk, when I was little, it seemed like it was very, very, very far away, and then the tree, it was like huge.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went back, it was like a few minutes of a walk, and then I saw him like, wow. But then, yes, when I saw where the platforms were, either the tree grew by the time I was living outside of Puerto Rico, but it was really high, whatever was left on that tree. And I was like, oh. And sometimes you could fall off the tree, and it was, I mean, thank God I never broke a bone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez.
I have a bunch of fractures because I used to race bikes, but from trees and stuff like that, no, I used to jump from the highest place. And I don't see that around here. I see some kids riding bikes, walking around, but it's like 3, 4, 5 of them. When I was little, it was groups of 3, 4, 5, but there were like 20 groups of kids. Like there were so many kids around that I didn't even know half of them. We just played with them. I didn't even know the names of these kids, but it was so fun. And right now, there's I think 2 groups, like some boys and some girls just playing around, but I don't think it goes up all the way to 15. At least where I live right now.
Here's something that might make you feel a little bit better. A few weeks ago, one of my brothers and his wife, they went to the forest where we used to play back then, just to kind of like, my brother did it to, I don't know, remember the things and see how it looks now. And they found newly built huts there in the forest. So some kids there are continuing our legacy, and I think that's really great. And what's funny is nowadays kids might not do this kind of stuff, but adults do, because I'm also LARPer, live action role player, and there we do exactly what we did as kids, like playing make-believe, running around in the woods with fake weapons and in costume, and pretend that we're fighting zombies and vampires and orcs and stuff. And now kids and adults do that. So I think I still think there's some place left there for certain activities to do. Just not as many kids that do it anymore regularly. But no, it's certain people who also still stayed young inside, they still continue to do it, and I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's what I try to do, and I like that they still do that. I mean, I guess you could get those kids that used to fight as you were a kid and kick their butts now, right? I mean, a lot more experience with those swords than than when you were growing up. I wish I could do that. I know they have that here in some places, but I think I'm too old now to get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also something like when you grow up, your mind is on other things and you don't pay attention really to, like when you yourself don't have kids. I don't know if how is it with you, but I don't have any kids. I mean, I have a very, very young brother, but he also kind of does his own thing with his friends, and he doesn't live close to me. My parents take care of that, so I'm not quite sure how he always does it, but it was. It's great thinking back to the time where you just went outside. Also, like before everybody had a cell phone, so we just went outside the door and said goodbye to our parents. Goodbye, parents, and then you were gone for several hours, and they had no idea where we were. And it was kind of awesome that you could come back hours later and be dirty and sweaty and all of that. And just thinking back, that's so great.
You know when our parents back in the day, they knew where we were. The Christmas day and that first week after Christmas, because if we had a bike or skates or whatever we had, we just had to ride by the house so many times. So that week they would, okay, there he is, and there's, yeah. But it's like you said, like I remember me waking up in the morning and just going places. There's a river where I'm from that is between 2 towns. And that was quite a walk, because I did that up to when I was 18 years old. And yeah, I would disappear for like the whole day and go different places. And yep. And well, back to reality. I mean, it's not good now that happens. There's so many mean things happening in the world that
we need Christmas. We need Christmas more than ever.
Yes, that was my point because I'm like we kind of went in that memory trip just like I went yesterday, and we need that, and I know we could spread that. Like I said on my recording yesterday, my wife, she celebrated Christmas like traditionally with their family, but there weren't that big much of decorators. They decorate, like they have the tree, they have their their little things. But since we've been together, like she's turned into a Christmas shopping maniac. Like we have our Christmas village that it grows more and more and more every year. Last year we kind of held back since we were only living temporarily until we could move into our permanent place. So we didn't have we didn't want that many boxes to move around. So we had a bunch of boxes. And right now we could just since last year in the middle of the summer we went to different places and we started getting excited about seeing Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
This year we're doing the same thing. We keep going. For example, over here there's a place called Hobby Lobby, which is it's for arts and crafts, but they also sell art, they sell frames, they sell decorations, they sell trees, and all of that's already up. And this is the second time I've been there in 2 weeks, and it's like double the amount of things that they have for Christmas. And I told her the other day, you know what? Let's get out of here because I'm gonna spend the the mortgage money. I'm gonna spend it on decoration. So let me run out of here. And that part I did like, and I did what was that like? It's contagious. So because it rubbed off on her. So now every time she sees Christmas decorations and stuff, she wants to buy it. And I know if I could get her to do that, and it wasn't my intention to get her to do that. It was just something that I did. Just decorate Christmas and have a bunch of little elves running like around the house. Not running. I mean, that's how I picture them. See, I have an imagination. I have a bunch of elves. I do have a bunch of elves, and I keep buying them every year. So it's really hard for me to change that decoration. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. But it rubbed off on her. And I want to do that to other people. And at work last year, since I could wear whatever I want, I had a Christmas t-shirt or sweater every single day since November.
Ooh.
I kid you not. I had a Christmas shirt like a different one. It had to do with Christmas Vacation, with Christmas Story, Elf. I have a few Elf sweaters. I mean, those are just funny. They're semi-offensive to some people, but I don't care. They're just Christmas, itself.
I mean, there still was thing like ugly sweater Friday or something like that, but people still do those.
We have that over here, and they did it, but out of like probably 100 people, like 5 or 6 had the ugly sweater, which ugly sweaters are beautiful. So not a lot of people, following on that. But then again, towards like the second week in a row with my shirts, people were walking by my desk to see what I was wearing that day, to see if it was a shirt that I wore previously. And they always got excited about my Christmas shirts. Oh, and I do carry a Christmas lights necklace in my work vehicle the whole time. Like in the rearview mirror, there's always a Christmas light necklace that actually turns on.
Oh.
The whole year.
Yeah, it's I don't know, like I don't think we really had that many Christmas related clothes, because why would you buy something that's only like appropriate for this very, very certain period of time, and maybe next year you would be in a completely different shape, and then you would have only worn it for a couple of days. So I don't think my parents really saw any value in that. So I think we had some things that were kind of like Christmas related. But imagine if you get some like Christmas related clothes for Christmas, then you can wear it for a couple of more days, and then it really isn't useful anymore.
Well, you know how you could get away with that. If you get Christmas related clothing, just don't wear it around the same people, and don't post it on Facebook.
Ah, okay, yeah, but I mean, people can't resist that. I mean, they have to show off their stuff. There's also
exactly,
something I enjoyed after Christmas, going to the neighbors' kids and saw what they got, and showing my own toys too. That was also something fun we did.
Yeah, well, now they just do it online. Hey,
Yeah,
on Xbox Network or the PlayStation Network, and they say what they got. And yeah, that's one of the things I always emphasize. When it was bike season, most of the kids had a bike, got a bike for Christmas. The other ones already had it. When it was roller skates, when it was skateboards. I remember scooter, like the years of those aluminum scooters. Because when I was little, I got I guess you call it a regular scooter with the foam tires. That was fun. But then when those Razor scooters came out, that you busted your shins.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
It's also a shame, depending on where you live, it still could take a couple of months until you can actually use your bike. Like in certain areas when there's maybe like big snow and ice storm and all of that. And so you can't really use your bike until a couple of months in the year. And so you don't really have anything from your gift for that long. And that kind of sucks.
Well, that's the blessing that I had growing up in Puerto Rico, because it's summer there all year long.
Yeah, that's of course helps. I'm dead set convinced this Christmas they're gonna be Christmas themed face masks.
Oh, I already told my mom make some. I already told my mom I want one with my logo. I'm reworking my logo again because I kind of see it's a lot of things on it. But I already told my mom I'm gonna wait till I get the new logo in, and I'm gonna send it to you, because she has a friend that does printing on fabric.
Nice.
And she made me a nice a Batman mask, and she made an Animal Crossing mask for my wife.
Oh, cool! Oh, that's really cool. But yeah, they're gonna make also like not even like individualized, like regular Christmas face masks with like reindeer smiles or like snowmen and
Santa beards.
Yeah, Santa beards, of course. Yeah, all of that. They will have all of that in stock, because by that point it still won't be fully over. And I mean that's cool. Make something fun with this, and make some cool Christmas memorabilia with that. I mean, that's also something you could put in a certain drawer, and then pull it out a couple of years later. Here, see that, and show it to your grandkids or something.
Yep. I mean, we gotta pick up the pace, because if we keep going the same way we're going right now, I'm not gonna remember my grandparents and my parents' stories. And then when I have kids, like I don't want to force to make memories, but then when they have kids, it's like the Christmases are gonna be so different. So at least we're in the era that everything has a camera. Like, for example, what we're talking about now, it's gonna be cemented online for years to come. And
it's gonna be,
even if we don't,
like, live streams with floating camera balls in the living room, and not even a real tree. It's gonna be like a holographic tree. You can just change with one swipe or something. So you could have every day, you could have a different kind of Christmas tree.
Wait, do they have that already? Because I would love to have one in this room right now where I'm recording.
It's still a little bit too early for these kinds of holograms, but that's gonna happen. When the world hasn't gone to pieces and fire, come a few years. But and if going with the technology, yeah, we're gonna have that sooner or later.
Well, we already have the projectors for the outside projectors, that a lot of the Christmas fanatics said that to put a projector that just shows shapes and lights in your wall, that's lazy. But then again, I lived in a rented place, so why am I can't nail any lights to the walls or to the borders, because they'll charge me a bunch of money once I move out. So I did buy my projector. So, those projectors are already so cheap compared to years ago when they came out. So yes, the next thing,
my parents have
I can picture that.
Yeah, my parents have one projector. They hang up a couple of lights and all of that. They have a couple of decorations, but they also have this small projector which kind of like has this 3D sparkly thing on our door. So we kind of like walk through all of these small Christmas colored lights and stuff, which get just laser projected everywhere around us, which is a really cool gimmick, and which is nice when you enter or get out of the house. But yeah, that's one of those examples. But it was also fun decorating everything. We actually have a fun tradition decorating the tree, specifically my family, because in Germany we celebrate Christmas on the 24th. So Christmas Eve is actually the 24th when we open the presents and all of that, and not the morning of the 25th. And so on the evening of the 23rd, we get the tree in the living room, and then we decorate it, like very very shortly before before actual Christmas. And while we're decorating the tree, we are always watching the same movie, which is winter themed and has just a small amount of Christmas in it, but it's a German black and white comedy, and we just watch it every year. And but I always watch it, and my family just decorates the tree. And sometimes I help, but usually I just sit there and and watch a movie. But I think this year, if we're able to get all together for Christmas, I'm gonna help too. I'm gonna help decorate too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, for example, you're already aware of that, so you want to do that. And for example, last year I didn't have a tree.
Oh,
Like I said, it was a temporary place, and I was going to New York for 2 weeks, and I was leaving to New York about. We left. We were supposed to leave after Christmas on the 26th, but then I got the days approved to work, so we left actually on Christmas Eve. We made it over there on the 24th, so I didn't see a point of buying a tree and just leaving it there without turning it on or anything. It was just going to be sad. And I've never had a real tree. I always had, the plastic trees or, the ones that you put away. But this year I actually want to go chop down my tree. And there's a Christmas tree farm, coincidentally about 20, well, not even like 10 minutes away from here, that when we used to drive on the expressway, there was a sign that said that it was that way. And about 2 weeks ago, I'm driving with my wife, and we just drove. She's like, "Oh my God, look at those pine trees." I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "It looks like a Christmas tree farm." And when I turned around, it was actually that Christmas tree farm that we used to see that it was far, far away when we drove by. And it's like 10 minutes away from my house. So I'm very, very excited this year about getting my tree, especially when I didn't have a tree last year. And I just want one that goes up, to the roof. I don't know. I'm like Clark Griswold. I might get one of those trees that'll bust the windows when I, open it up in here.
Oh God, no! Isn't there one movie where somebody steals the tree from like the marketplace and puts it in either his living room or like the living room of a neighbor to make up for something?
Yes, deck the halls.
Oh, what wasn't that Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Oh, that movie is freaking awful. But I remember that. I couldn't quite place what movie it was, but I had a feeling. Yeah,
it's a horrible movie, but with so many little Christmas things in there. Because the good thing is they never lost the focus on the Christmas theme of the movie.
I mean, yeah,
it was a bunch of ridiculous things.
It's totally about Christmas and certain Christmas scenarios, of course. Yeah, it's just the movie is horribly corporate and ugly and not funny.
But it had the Christmas feels. I mean, so I want a tree. Like, I don't want to over decorate it because I do want to turn off all the lights in the house and just have the tree really, really bright. I do have a lot of decorations for the tree, and my wife wants to get more, more ornaments and stuff. But I want to have a big tree.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm already excited. I mean, I've driven by, the Christmas tree farm a few more times, just, looking over there to see if there's anybody there. I want to go talk to them. I don't know. Let me, put a tent over there. Can I sleep overnight with the Christmas trees?
Yeah. There was this one short film the guys from Mystery Science Theater did for Riff Tracks Live. The one short film where it's like this small little Christmas tree in the woods, like just this pine tree basically, and it was unhappy that it was so small and all of that. And then there comes his family, and they take him and as their Christmas tree, and then decorate them in their house. And he's like, now I'm more special than all the other bigger trees and all of that. And then it's a cute message and all of that. But the Riff Tracks people dubbed over it when like the father grabs the axe and they're dubbing over it. Oh no! Wait! I changed my mind. Screams of pain when the axe goes through the trunk and all of that. And that was really funny.
And the other thing I want to put a Christmas tree, like a baby Christmas tree, in my backyard and just watch it grow through the years.
Oh, also decorated every year then?
Yeah, decorated as it grows, because they put it's a nice tree back there, but it has a sign to what it is, but it's not the tree that I'm too fond of.
Oh,
So when I'm like doing my lawn and stuff like that, I just want to rip it out. But I rather just somebody come and just take that tree and me plant a nice little baby Christmas tree there and just see it grow throughout the years. I mean, I'm a I'm a Christmas freak.
oh, sure. That was also funny because in 2018, we visited America during Christmas time for 3 months. And I was there part of December. And I actually was in a city in Southern California when they put like the big tree of a city. Like put it up, and they had the celebration with like Santa was there, and the a stage show and songs and a lot of people and fake snow sprayed from one of the higher buildings. It was in front of a cinema and all of that, and it was so warm, and I was standing there as an European, like this is so. I'm so not in the mood.
Well, you know what I saw last year? I saw the Rockefeller tree, the same tree that comes out in the movies.
Oh,
the I think one of the world's most famous trees, and I got to see it on Christmas Day.
jeez!
And I'm gonna tell you, it was the horrible experience.
Oh no!
There were so many people. I wanted to. I always had this thing of Christmas in New York. It was my second Christmas in New York. My first one, I was 13 years old. And I got the Nintendo 64 that Christmas, so it was a very special Christmas. It was the Christmas right before my baby brother was born. And, well, this past Christmas, I went over there, and I was with my baby brother, which he's 21 years old. So I'm old if he's my baby brother. And his girlfriend and my wife and my sister, her husband, and my niece. And my wife wanted to ice skate in New York on Christmas Day.
Oh.
And yeah, that's a bad idea.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, it's totally romantic and cool, but I'm sure a lot of other people have that idea as well.
yes, I'm thousands and thousands of people. And when I'm telling you, couldn't even walk. It was shoulder to shoulder. But as soon as you saw the tree, it was so impressive.
Oh, okay. That's good. Is that the same tree from Home Alone 2?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep. And those are natural. Those are natural trees. Those are real. Like, it's a grown tree. Like, they chop it down every year. They get it from different places. I read,
okay.
Or so I read. If anybody out there wants to correct me, but I know it's a real Christmas tree, and that thing is huge. And all that the bad experience of trying to walk to get over there, it went away. I'm just taking random pictures of it, seeing a lot of people. I mean, there were some angry people just pushing to take a smiling picture in front of a Christmas tree. Come on, man. That's fake. Don't push somebody just so you could, fake happiness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I heard of like this Thanksgiving tradition where like the president pardons a turkey, right? Or is it out of fashion? I mean, when the president goes to a certain farm and then pardons a turkey just as for the sign of you will be spared this year or something. Do they do the same thing with the Rockefeller tree? Or like the president goes to a certain tree farm and says, "Not today, old friend."
not that I know. But I mean, the side of that tree, it's it's impressive. We also wanted to roller skate in the ice rink that's right by the tree, but there was so many people, and I think it was like a show going on with lights, and there was like a show there, so I couldn't even see. I couldn't even get my hand high enough to try and take a picture of the ice rink. But a few blocks away, it's called Bryant Park. There was an ice rink there with a fairly big tree as well. So we did see the Rockefeller tree in Christmas. And we did get to ice skate in Christmas, but just not in front of the Rockefeller tree. It's a Bryant Park tree, which it was pretty good. And they sold over there really good hot cocoa because it was cold. Hello again, everyone. Don't forget, if you want to keep in touch with us and keep up with everything that's going on Feliz Christmas, Merry Navidad podcast, you can find us all over social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at FCMN Podcast. FCMN Podcast. Feliz Christmas, Merry Navidad.